Good morning. Welcome to Morning Call. I'm Lata Venkatesh. With me are Sonia Shenoy and Anuj Singhal. The markets, all of us here and all experts have been faced with something which they were not quite prepared for. Like last Monday, we were prepared, or we were shocked with a Greek referendum which nobody had expected. This Monday we are faced with a no, which probably a better part of the market had not expected. And I guess the markets will pay at least a bit of a price for that unexpected response. Hi, both of you.
Hi, Lata. Morning. Hi, Anuj. Morning. Yes, we all know what the markets will open to today. But then what? What do you think the slightly more medium-term impact of the possible Brexit could be?
Well, I'm just trying to read the events of the last 8 hours, and let me take you through that. Eurozone's response, and most important would be Merkel and Hollande. What was the first response? Angela Merkel said that she's going to fly to Paris on Monday and plan their joint response. And look at the response statements. And I'm reading out from an email put out by the German Chancellery and the Élysée in Paris. So as official, their own statements, if it were, to jointly assess the situation after the Greek referendum, to address the continuation of Franco-German cooperation in the matter. Also, the statements agreed decision of the Greek people is to be respected. It called for a summit of the Euro area's 19 leaders to be held on Tuesday. Nothing at all that suggests that, okay, if they have given us a no, we are also going to say a no. It's a very measured response. It doesn't say that we're going to go all out and change the terms for the Greeks, but the response equally indicates that they are willing to give something. I would call this a statement that it's not Grexit. The fears of Grexit is just that, fears. And as well, the Eurozone will take some steps forward to lend a helping hand. The better response came from IMF, and that didn't come in the last 8 hours. It came in the last 72 hours, actually on Friday. IMF quietly put out a note on debt restructuring, and just look at the telling response it has made on everyone, or can make on everyone. It's a 330 billion euro debt that they are talking about. And look at the details of that debt restructuring. If Greece grows at 1% a year, the debt ratio will still be over 100% of Greece's GDP for 3 decades. And then, if it is a more realistic, not 1%, 1% is Greece's long-term GDP ratio. If it is going to be less, because they're deflating now, it's going to contract. If GDP is lower than forecast, but is coupled with an ambitious budget surplus of 2.5% of GDP, we have a 7% GDP and we don't have a budget surplus. So, a contracting country and with an ambitious budget surplus of 2.5, Greece would still require a total write-off of the entire first package, which is about 53 billion euros. And then IMF suggests, therefore, what is their suggestion? A 20-year moratorium on all repayments, extend maturities by another 40 years, and after that they make a final statement. If you did that, 20-year moratorium and 40-year repayment, Greece will still be paying back today's creditors in 2057. So it's as cruel as that, and if these numbers hit home into the other 18 countries as it hits home as far away as India, then my sense is that something more benign will be on the table for IMF. The more immediate meeting that we will all be watching out for as newsbirds will be the ECB. That's always going to be the first line of response everywhere. They're going to meet on Monday, so we have to watch very closely. The Greek banks won't open today, but ECB meets today and we will know something on Tuesday.
So initially you would expect just about a sentiment reaction on the Indian markets?
Yes, sentiment reaction for sure, and I think that's already there across Asian markets. All we can say about sentiment on the markets is that India will be the last man in the queue to fall. I mean, if you're looking at domino of fall, then India is the last man to fall. That clearly seems to be the quotes, the indication from the quotes that come. But really, Sonia, who is the expert of markets?
Okay, Anuj, what's the sense you're getting? I mean, I heard you say earlier on Power Breakfast that, there may not be too much of a negative impact. Is that because the market has learned from hindsight that, some of these events are perhaps the best buying opportunity?
Indeed, Sonia, morning. So I think that is pretty much it. You hit the nail on the head. And last evening also, when a lot of people were asking me on Twitter, and I was saying that 100-point gap down maybe on the Nifty. Worst case scenario, purely because of Greece is 200 points. That's the worst case outcome. And that may well mean that the floor for the market goes up. We saw 8,000 was the first floor. After last week, we saw 8,200 was the next floor. This time, it may well be 8,300. One thing I was very clear about was, if it was a yes vote, it would have been a catalyst for the market to maybe finally break that 8,500 hump and go towards 8,700, 8,800. But purely because it is a no vote does not mean there's panic on the street today. In fact, this, with benefit of hindsight, we might say this was a buying opportunity. Mind you, only from trading point of view. Only if you are a short-term trader who believes that the market has momentum right now, for good or bad, and the market is seeking higher levels. In that case, today's gap down may well be a buying opportunity. Today is going to be volatile. You're likely to see, buying and selling both at different intermittent levels, and there's a good chance, that the market today morning actually focuses on one big positive out of all of this, which is Brent crude, which is what it did last time as well. Brent crude now is below $60. Brent crude just about 1 month back was trading at 67, 68, was threatening to go to 75. That may well be the factor that the market actually want to focus on this morning, because right now the market is in that frame of mind after the kind of rally that we have seen. It's tough to stick your neck out on days like this. If I have to do that, I won't be surprised. I'm not saying something like this would happen, but I won't be surprised if during the day the market actually turns into the green or makes a move towards 8,500. Whether that's successful or not, time will tell. But there's a good chance that the dip not only gets bought, but the market actually tries to make a higher move. That could happen purely because the market right now has a bit of momentum. But what happens after that? Because the market has been struggling to take this 8,500 out even before this Greek situation came. You'll remember that at 8,450 to 8,500, the market was struggling a bit. In that, the kind of FI money that we have seen over the last 3 days, that might be a positive. At least the flows are coming back, and that's something I'll be watching out for over the next 2 or 3 days. Because of this Greece situation, is there impact on FI flows again drying up? That's something to watch out for. If the flows pick up, there's a good chance that with 8,200 as the bottom for the market in the near term, and with weak earnings may having, at least from IT sector being priced in, we've seen the way IT stocks have underperformed. The market may be ready to move on. The joker in the pack could well be what's happening with monsoon. Again, for right or wrong. Because, we saw the start of 30% surplus now turning into a flat lining. Could well turn into deficiency by the end of this month. That's something to watch out for. Purely from Greece's point of view, I think a knee-jerk, if there is, the market may want to look at the positives.
Okay. All right. Of course, the Indian market may want to look at the positives, but Lata, just for the slightly, from a global perspective, the potential exit of any country, however small it is from a currency union, I mean, it destroys perhaps the essential notion of the Eurozone irreversibility. So, there are fears perhaps now that it raises the risk of any other country exiting from the Eurozone as well, and a situation like Greece happening with, say, a Portugal or a Spain. So just for that, do you think global markets will price in that sort of redenomination risk?
Well, in the first place, I don't think this means a Greek exit.
No, it doesn't. A potential.
No, yeah, in my view, that is not really something which a lot of people will price in even now. Only the fear of Greek exit, but not Greek exit itself. And I think the master of that issue is the person we are going to speak to in about half a minute or half a second. William Bowter, the chief global economist at Citi, is going to join us. And, he's made monetary policy in London and he definitely knows much better on Greece. We are certainly not the resident experts. I just want to add one word to take you as a bet. My bet is that today we may not be able to rise that early. Just 2 points. One, the fall in the crude price should not be seen as a positive at this point in time because it's a risk-off and that will affect us as well, and is my sense. And secondly, I think we must now remember that we are not in a surplus monsoon phenomenon. All the surplus of June has been wiped out and now we are standing at, ground zero. So my sense is that the momentum or the spunk to cross 8,600 is now, if anything, should be on the decline. But once again, Anuj, you are the master of that call, and I just want to be just courageous and say that I don't expect in the green. In any case, we'll take that debate forward later on, but really, it's Brexit and how Europe will read. Will it be conciliatory in the coming days is the question we have to answer, and we have perhaps the best guest to answer that.